Watch the sky near any airport, and you'll notice a distinct pattern. Almost every commercial passenger jet overhead is painted exactly the same color, white. But coating an aircraft of that size requires a massive amount of liquid. Painting a single large jet adds anywhere from 250 to 600 kilograms of dead weight to the airframe. That extra mass forces the engines to burn extra fuel every single minute of every flight, compounding over the millions of miles the aircraft will travel during its lifespan. Then there is the upfront cost of the application itself. Applying all that heavy pigment to a fuselage costs well over $100,000 per plane. Multiply that across an entire fleet, and an airline is suddenly spending millions. This creates a bizarre contradiction. Airlines are notoriously obsessed with shaving mere ounces off their flights to save on fuel. They invest in ultra-lightweight seats, swap heavy physical manuals for iPads, and print magazines on thinner paper. So if the industry is so desperate to cut costs and reduce weight, why do they voluntarily spend millions to add hundreds of kilograms of plain white paint instead of flying bare metal? In a business driven entirely by razor-thin profit margins, an upfront deficit this massive is only approved if the hidden return on investment is absolutely crucial to the aircraft's survival. The answer begins on the ground. When an airplane sits idle on the tarmac between flights, it is relentlessly bombarded by intense solar radiation. White paint acts as a highly efficient solar reflector. It bounces the majority of that incoming energy away, keeping the fuselage significantly cooler than a darker surface would. This cooling effect reduces heat stress on the aluminum and composite structures that hold the plane together. It also protects the highly sensitive, expensive electronics housed inside the cabin from overheating. If a plane were coated in a dark shade, the surface temperature would spike dramatically under the afternoon sun, accelerating structural wear and tear across the entire airframe over time. Modern aviation treats this coating as an active thermal shield, engineered specifically to prevent accelerated hardware degradation. But protecting the plane from the sun is only half the equation. The other half involves the absolute highest priority in aviation: routine safety diagnostics. Mechanics are constantly hunting for microscopic threats to the airframe. They have to spot hairline cracks, spot minor dents, find invisible corrosion, and dark oil leaks long before they become catastrophic failures. Because these deadly defects almost always present as dark marks, they immediately stand out against a stark white background. Complex or dark paint jobs act as camouflage. They hide tiny surface imperfections, which makes manual safety inspections much slower, harder to execute, and inherently less reliable. Faster, more reliable visual checks directly translate to economic efficiency. It means the plane spends less time grounded in the hangar and more time safely up in the air earning revenue. The paint essentially functions as a passive diagnostic interface. It transforms the massive exterior of the fuselage into a high-contrast monitor that displays damage in real time. High-altitude UV rays rapidly degrade red, blue, and black pigments, while white paint maintains a stable, flat line. Grounding planes to repaint faded dark colors costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, whereas the white baseline avoids these fees entirely. Then there is the final economic lever to consider: fleet turnover. Most commercial airliners are too expensive to stay with one owner. They are sold or leased to several different companies throughout their lifespan. By keeping the fuselage a blank canvas, a new buyer can simply swap out the logos and tail decals. They skip the massive expense and the long weeks of downtime required to strip and repaint an entire jet. The initial weight penalty is eclipsed by the millions saved in cooling, maintenance speed, safety, and resale value, making white the most highly calculated, battle-tested economic tool in the sky.